Okay, so I don't want to talk about how much of a waste of a time that was. You know, I just, you know, yeah, don't want to talk about it. And I don't want to talk about the blood vessel that burst in my eye. But what I do want to talk about is we got the hood on, we got the cowl placed. There's a bunch of clips that are missing, so we have to fix those to, you know, get those on. But anyway, they're there. I've gone back and forth on this a few times about what is the best way to do it. Do we work with the stock hood and try to make that work, or do we start from scratch? Because, you know, sometimes modifying something can almost be more work than if you just built something that's exactly what you need from the get-go. So that said, I did some measurements. We should be able to make this work. Obviously, we'll notch out where the strut towers come up. No big deal there. So we'll notch those out. We'll see if we can get this actually close. I have pins for it, just like I have for the hatch, so it'll be matching because, you know, aesthetics. And then we'll cut a big old hole in the front for the vent. We'll use some wire to form up the humps for the strut tops, and then we should have a working hood, and then we can start building the fenders. So, no time like the present. Let's get to it. Okay, so after some finagling, this is kind of the basic shape I came up with. We're probably not going to run fiberglass over this whole piece. At first, I had this like huge taper come down here, but I pinched it, and I kind of like the short riser look better. So I think I think this is the way I'm going to go. So the fiberglass piece will really be more like from here to here-ish. Basically just enough to cover the strut top there, and then we can build the fender to meet it. Basically just going to run some wire forms, build it out of that, and then fiberglass over top that, and it should be pretty much, because we have to add structure back to this anyway, so this thing is super super flimsy. So we're going to get that in, and the other good news with not fiberglassing this whole section, we'll be able to kind of proactively run our hood pins. Actually, I should probably do that now. That way, this stays where it's supposed to, and the height. Yeah, let's do that. All right. So I'm gonna put the hood pins in first, and then we're gonna start building our wire forms, and we're gonna go to town. Let's do it. So hopefully you can kind of start to get the basic shape of what this thing's going to look like. So we still got to get all the ducting in place around the radiator because there's a lot of air gaps around it, and then we have to force air up into the scoop that we created. So we'll need to introduce ducting to get that to work properly. But for now, this kind of holds everything where it needs to be, so it's just a matter of kind of grinding it down and prettying it up and going from there. So now that we got that all tacked in, I went ahead and made marks, measured out the rod lengths, whatever, and made marks. That way when we stretch the material across, it's all, you know, we have reference points to do it. In the meantime, and I just realized this because I'm an idiot, I have to clean this first, which means I'm probably gonna end up wiping the marks off. So we'll reapply those. But yeah, we gotta get all this cleaned up. I'm gonna shave down some of these welds. Some of them are pretty high. Everything's just kind of tacked in because it really just needs to be. Because, like I said, once this is done, then this kind of just becomes a plug at that point, and we can, you know, use this to mold like a full carbon fiber hood. So yes, let's clean it up, mark it up, paint it up, mark it up some more. Get things moving. I don't know. It's like 6:30 in the morning. I don't even know what I'm doing. Okay, real talk. I suck at this. I completely forgot how to do this. I mean, like, it's been a minute since I've done any of this work, and I grabbed the wrong material. I had a tub of like my old supplies, and I had the polyfill, which is the white stuff that I used, and I had the felt. And I remember looking at the felt going, no, it's not that. It was that, yeah. We're gonna start over. We're gonna do it right this time, so hopefully, you know, it'll work this time instead of not work, which is what it did this time. So yeah, let's go make it work. So that is a hood. Well, at least I'm calling it that. I'm sure this episode's going to be a complete shit show when I go to edit it, but you know, you win some, you lose some. I think it's turned out pretty good for not really having any idea what I was doing. And yes, we're going to be addressing all the terrible gaps and body lines and things. We've got a lot of big plans for the front end of this car. Just not right now. We're going to pivot at this point now that we know the space that we have to work with up front. Now we're going to be working on the plumbing and the wiring and the engine work to get this thing moving, driving, and stopping under its own power. So that's what we're going to be working on next. So thank you as always for watching. Make sure to hit that thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. But as always, remember, on projects like this thing or whatever you're working on, sometimes you just need a little ingenuity. I will see you next time.